Patrice Motsepe is a problem. No. Hands off Patrice. Patrice Kubega, nemali yakho inikeza abantu, kodwa siyacela ukuthi be careful not to be used by politicians, by white monopoly capital in particular. We as BLF will protect Patrice Motsepe, will not allow him to be harassed, to be pickpocketed like that so easily for money by people who love money. So hands off Patrice Motsepe. We have real issues with Motsepe and we'll deal with those issues. BRICS. Let's deal with BRICS quickly. In the BRICS, BRICS bokona ngisho nenkosi yeBRICS ungane omkhulu kaPresident Zuma, uPutin waseRussia. Phela uPutin, there's only one friend yakhe BRICS, uPresident Zuma. Mayifika kwamele ukuthi abe nomhlangano noRamaphosa. Imagine comrades, it's shocking that when Putin arrived here, he has to meet Ramaphosa instead of President Zuma. And then he asked the question about the deal, and Ramaphosa said there's no money, but the money is already put in the IPPs, those things called the independent power producers, which is 1.4 trillion rand sent abroad to white people's companies. BRICS must be protected because it is an important development. But we know that China and Brazil, China and Russia today are the most important. And read the newspapers, you will be shocked. The newspapers are demonizing BRICS. They are demonizing China. They're saying China is colonizing South Africa by lending South Africa money. It's a lie. It's because they want South Africa to go borrow money at the IMF and the World Bank, which are Western projects. The conditionalities of money given by China is different from conditionalities of money that comes from the IMF and the World Bank. So no, we must protect China, we must defend BRICS, and let us also acknowledge that the BRICS is the project of President Zuma. We know that Ramaphosa does not support BRICS, Pravin does not support BRICS, only President Zuma is the real carrier of the mandate of BRICS, and that is his legacy. So be careful what they say about China and the Chinese loans, because they hate China, because China is helping us to strengthen BRICS so that we can get out of the World Bank and the IMF and our economies can be independent. If BRICS we must defend BRICS. We must also make sure that BRICS is a BRICS of the people. And we must reject the white liberals who are taking BRICS because they want us to go to the IMF and the World Bank. So we thank Zuma, President Zuma, for the BRICS project. It must be developed. I want to go to Zimbabwe and then I'll come back to the South African newspapers. Tomorrow, Zimbabweans are going to elections. It's the first election after President Mugabe has been removed from power to a coup. President Mugabe was removed to a coup in Zimbabwe. ZANU-PF is now controlled by pro-Western people like Mnangagwa. I call him a coupist, the leader of the coup. Coupist Mnangagwa. He's been running around the world saying that white people will get back their land, white people will get compensation. He's calling for the IMF and the World Bank. He's sending Zimbabwe back to colonialists. That is Mnangagwa, who's now the leader of ZANU-PF. On the other hand, you have the young man, Nelson Chamisa. I call him the pretty boy. The guy who likes press-ups. He has push-ups in the middle of Harare. Now, he's a breakaway from the MDC of Tsvangirai. We know that Morgan is no more and there are many infighting there. In Zimbabwe, there are basically four main players, political figures. It is Mnangagwa of ZANU-PF, it is Chamisa of MDC Alliance, it is Thokozani Kupe of the other MDC, it's a woman, and then you also have Umama Okumanaye ZANU-PF, Joyce Mjuru. Joyce Mjuru and Sister Kupe, these two, they are just messing up because they have no real chance of getting into the presidency. But Lacoste or the Coupist and Pretty Boy, they are neck and neck. It is very possible that young man Chamisa could become president of Zimbabwe by the end of the week, provided crocodile does not eat the ballot box. The crocodile might just swallow the ballot box and declare itself the ruler of Zimbabwe. If he can have a coup against his father, President Mugabe, do we trust that he will not rig this election? We ask as BLF, what must be the position of revolutionaries in the elections of Zimbabwe? Our conclusion is that we must support what President Mugabe supports. We understand President Mugabe supports the young man advocate Nelson Chamisa. Pretty boy, we understand you have the vote of President Mugabe. If you have a vote of President Mugabe, then you have our vote as well. If President Mugabe thinks you can be rehabilitated and made a revolutionary, because you are not right now. Right now, Chamisa is not a revolutionary. He's a pretty boy who speaks well, who knows something about the law, but he has not declared his position against imperialism. He has not declared his position against colonialism. He has not declared his position against IMF and the World Bank. He has not declared a position to support the legacy of President Mugabe. Therefore, we have big question marks around Nelson Chamisa. But as we speak, he is the only possible hope in Zimbabwe because President Mugabe said so. If Mugabe said nothing about Chamisa, we ourselves will say nothing about Chamisa. Hopefully, Chamisa can open the space in Zimbabwe so that the radical program can again emerge in Zimbabwe. A radical program which will go beyond his narrow project of simply trying to democratize Zimbabwe within the framework of neoliberalism. ZANU-PF under Mnangagwa is a dead end, is a dead project. It's a project that cannot revive any possibilities in Zimbabwe. Those are just military men with guns who just want jobs for themselves and who are exploiting Zimbabwe through guns. These are the people who remove the most revolutionary president, President Mugabe. How can we give those people political power? These are copies against their father, our father, the father of the African Revolution in Southern Africa, Mugabe. No. Let us remove, let us kwekwe Mnangagwa Monday. Tomorrow we call on all Zimbabwean patriots, both in ZANU-PF, outside ZANU-PF, to vote for Chamisa.